Welcome. Thank you for coming to practice. So it's not uncommon. People come to yoga practice for many different reasons. Some think they need a little bit more balance in their life, perhaps stress relief, um, looking to become a little bit more steady, stable, just in how they navigate everyday life. And other people have specific, perhaps physical reasons, stiffness, soreness, a particular limitation that they're trying to navigate as well. And it doesn't really matter why you come to the practice. A good way to begin is with your foundation, feet, legs, and hips. So creating that foundation, let's give it a try. So I have my socks off this morning, and if you're seated, you're welcome to stay seated. And I actually have a little bit of a bench here, so I can get my feet up in the air. You can see what I'm going to do with your feet. So if you're seated on the floor, it's just legs straight out, and perhaps hands behind your hips for a little bit of stability. So beginning to work with your foundation. Perhaps you've watched a football game where they've done the stadium wave, a sequence of standing and sitting. Let's try that with your toes. So little toe down and then all the way waving over to your big toe. And if it helps, you can make that same movement with your fingers. So toes waving like the stadium. Perhaps easier said than done. And that's not uncommon either. And then letting that movement trail off. And then it's clenching your toes and releasing them, spreading them, reaching them. So clenching and releasing, reaching. So it was toes waving, and then that's feet clenching, releasing. And perhaps you've already noticed in that clench that toes want to move away from your knees. So let's go ahead and make that intentional. So toes pointing away from your knees, so-called plantar flexion, and then toes reaching for your knees. So again, I have my feet up on this stool so you can see things a bit better, but for you, legs straight out, feet on the floor is just fine. So plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, and then we'll turn that movement into a circular movement. Feet circling in one direction and then back the other direction. All right. And then I'm going to set this stool out of the way. For you and for me, finding your way to hands and knees. Finding hands and knees and then just stepping forward, forward, fold. And something a little bit different right here. Normally we exhale to fold deeper. How about this morning? Try an inhale to fold deeper. Letting back round, letting head drop and hang. And then exhale to a bit of a lift. Inhale, folding again. And then sweeping all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. All right. All right. One hand, I've got my left hand, looks like the right, but it's the left. My abdomen below my navel, and left hand on sacrum behind and tipping pelvis back and forth. Reason for this is just to begin to mobilize hips, knees, and ankles. And you might notice that the hip tip does invite that little bit of mobility. Knees mobile and dynamic. And then having worked with foundation just a bit, letting your arms hang. And then on an inhale, lifting shoulders up towards your ears. And exhale, let them fall on down. So inhale, shoulders lifting. Exhale, releasing. Perhaps you've already noticed when shoulders lift, there's an invitation for head to nod forward. So go ahead and see if you can intentionally make that movement. When you inhale, shoulders lifting, back of your skull lifts as well. And then on the exhale, shoulders drop, nose lifts a bit. So we're starting this with an exaggerated movement. But now incrementally, slowly making that movement smaller and smaller. Maybe not even so much lifting shoulders at all, just letting the inhale, exhale, move the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, move the back of your skull until it's such a small movement that if someone was standing across the room watching you, they wouldn't even know you were moving. You'd feel it, but they couldn't see it. So this particular movement right here is facilitated by the very top vertebra of your spine, atlas. Atlas can only facilitate one movement, and that's this one right here. That inhale, nodding down just a bit, exhale. Nose coming up just a bit. And letting that movement trail off and going to the next vertebra down, axis. So top two vertebra, next one down, axis can only facilitate side to side, like shaking your head. And making that movement again, subtly small, so that we engage those fine motor muscles that control the top two vertebrae. Letting that movement trail off, and now we're going to combine those two movements. So it's like drawing a figure eight, sideways figure eight, infinity symbol with your nose. And again, making that movement, fine motor movement, just from the top two vertebrae, by making it so subtle that if someone were watching you 6, 8, 10 feet away, they wouldn't see you moving at all. All right. So just shaking hands with a few preliminary movements, letting that trail off, and let's get moving. So remember that hip tipping movement, same movement again right here. And rather than exhaling, hips tipping back, how about inhaling? Hips tipping back, head dropping forward. Kind of that same intention you had a moment ago. Then exhaling, hips tipping forward, looking up. Yeah. Beginning that progression that will take us to regular sun salutations. So then it's bringing hands to knees. And again, how about inhaling to round? Dropping your head, exhaling to lift. Let's see how that inhale facilitates, augments the rounding. All right. Next time you arch to come up, coming all the way up to standing, and exhale, rounding, hands. I'm sorry, inhale, rounding, hands. Yeah. It's the other way around this morning. Next time you round on an inhale, coming all the way down to the floor. Fingertips on the floor, knees folded. And again, it's inhale to round. Letting your head hang and exhale to lift. One more time, inhale, rounding. Coming to hands and knees. Continuing that progression by inhale, rounding again. So-called cat pose. Exhale, lifting. So I know that this breathing pattern is 180 degrees opposite from what you're used to doing. And so that pattern can be hard to access. Best you can is inhale to lift, exhale to lift. And then taking knees back, bringing seat back towards your heels. Inhale back, exhale forward. So truth be told, there isn't a right way, wrong way. There's a way that facilitates some engagements and not others. And then there's a way that switches that around. Facilitates different engagements. Inhale back. Exhale forward. This time, aligning knees, hips, shoulders, and ears, and lowering yourself on down. Draw forward and up, and inhale back. Exhale forward. All right. Welcome to continue this movement. More challenge would be next time you come forward, lifting your knees, lowering down, drawing forward and up, and either child's pose or downward facing dog. And coming back to hands and knees, stepping forward, forward, fold. Remember this, it's an inhale to run. And exhale, sweeping all the way up. All right. Yeah, cover up is kind of getting in the way here. I'm going to shut it. So it's inhale, arms up. And then pausing so that you can inhale to fold. Exhale, lifting. Inhale, rounding. Coming to hands and knees and finding downward facing dog. First dog perhaps for you, so knees can be folded, heels off the floor. And right here, letting your head hang. The weight of your head releasing from your neck. Won't be that long, perhaps as little as 6 weeks, and there'll be ornaments hanging from the Christmas tree. So let your head have that same quality of release and hang as a Christmas tree ornament hanging on the tree. All right. Coming to hands and knees. And walking through, coming seated. Coming onto your back and draw knees in towards your shoulders. Exhale. How about inhale, knees in? And exhale, knees out. Continuing that same pattern. And next time, knees are drawn in, pausing there. Lower back, close to, if not on the floor, see if knees can go back out over your hips and pull back in. So exhale out, inhale. Even more challenge would be next time knees are over hips, dropping one foot at a time to the floor. Keeping lower back steady, stable, at least not popping up to the ceiling. Yeah. So moving legs, but engaging abdominal strength, hip strength as well. So free to continue that 1 foot at a time, or you could take both feet to the floor and bring them back up. All right. Next time feet come down to the floor, just pausing there. Taking arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other. Really reaching up, feeling how that grounds that place between your shoulder blades. And now on an inhale, pressing that place between your shoulder blades into the ground. And let that wave of pressure travel up your spine to the back of your skull. And exhale, release. So that was a little bit slower than perhaps you were breathing, but that's the intention, the way to go. So however your breath takes you, it's pressing between shoulder blades on an inhale. Wave of energy pressing up to back of your skull and releasing. You might notice that when that wave of energy progresses up to the back of your skull, arms want to come up overhead towards the floor. Let them go ahead and do that. And then exhale back up. So it starts pressing between shoulder blades. Wave of pressure traveling up to press back of the skull. Arms moving up as well. Okay. All right. And then it's just bringing arms down by your side. Knees folded, feet on the floor, and bringing those feet in relatively close to your seat. Maybe 10 inches, 8 inches away. Depends on how long your legs are. And now on an exhale, rounding lower back into the floor. Exhale, rounding again. Inhale, releasing. So switching the breath cycle back. Exhale, rounding. And next time you exhale, round lower back into the floor, lifting hips up to the seat. And release them back on down. So one more time. Exhale, rounding, lifting, arms coming up. There's that place between your shoulder blades grounded again. Arms out to the side, about 45 degrees, few circles in each direction. Really connecting that place between shoulder blades to the ground. Arms coming straight up over towards the ceiling, and then thumbs to the floor overhead. Arms reaching up overhead behind you. Now that place between shoulder blades just lifted off the floor, at least godlike. Using abdominal strength, drawing hips and ribs together to round your lower back, bringing spine to the floor. All right. One more time, last time lifting. So it's exhale, rounding down, lifting up. Arms out to the side, a few circles in each direction, just a couple. And then it's arms to the ground in a kind of a goalpost or a cactus position. Back of the hand on the floor. Pressing that back of the hand forearm into the floor. Feel how that has the power to lift that place between your shoulder blades. Keeping that pressure in the back of your hands, sliding hands up towards overhead. And using abdominal strength again to round lower back first. Bringing spine to the floor, one vertebra at a time. Okay. Drawing these in. Exhale, a little bit of release for lower back. Release for lower back. Well, I check my notes here. And then rolling to one side. Coming up on hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And then it's taking knees back quite a ways. A good 8-10 inches so that when seat comes back towards your heels, arms are fully extended. And then pausing there, taking those arms off to the right side of your mat. And letting your head hang like the Christmas tree ornament. No engagement in neck muscles whatsoever. And then arms off to the other side, head hanging again. Arms coming centered, and then rotating your whole arm so that back of your hand is on the floor and elbows pointing towards the floor. And now with head up. It's walking hands off to the right side of your, turning your gaze to look over the right arm. And then coming back center, going to the other side, looking over the left arm. Coming back center, and bringing elbows down to the ground. Back of the hand still on the floor. And then it's lifting and lowering your elbows a few times. Next time elbows come down, turning your palms over. And lifting those elbows up off the floor and drawing them in towards each other. Straightening your arms, elbows out to the side, winging out to the side, circling around down to the floor and coming back up. So a circular movement in your elbows. Next time elbows come down, resting elbows, forearm on the ground, curling your toes under, hips up and back. Elbow dog. With another opportunity to release your head, letting it hang from your neck. Coming back to hands and coming back to knees, straightening your arms, regular dog, hips up and back. Head again hanging and perhaps just shaking it side to side. Really letting it be long and loose. Coming back to hands and knees. Stepping forward, forward, forward. And we'll do that reverse breath cycle again here. So it's inhale to run. Exhale to release. Inhale, rounding one more time. And exhale, sweeping up. All the way up. All right. Standing for a moment. Remember that toe wave we did earlier, way back when, in the beginning. Doing that again right now. And again, it's perfectly okay to use your fingers in that same movement pattern if it helps to move your toes in that waving motion. Remember the next part was letting the wave rest and then clenching your toes and releasing. Like toes were going to grab your mat and then releasing, extending. And then next time you release, actually lifting your toes up towards the sky, lifting and separating. And now just letting those toes lightly rest down. A little bit of pressure on those toes. Letting knees be mobile and dynamic to lightly lift your heels. Heels lifting. Just 1/4 of an inch or so. Just enough so that as toes draw forward, heel draws back, as if you were opening the sole of your foot towards the ground. Yeah. Let's just take a rest, release all of that for a moment. So in the yoga tradition and in many ancient traditions, wisdom traditions, there's this concept that the ground, the earth itself, has a vitality and energy. It's there, it's always available to us, but we have to access it. We access it by what you just did. So toes lightly pressing into the ground so that forefoot gets a little bit more weighted. Heel gets just a little bit lighter. And then out of those toes, drawing heel back, back, back to open your foot to the ground. Foot opening to the ground. Letting that pause for a moment, drift away as you take a wider stance. Toes pointed out. Hands to heart. Knees forward, seat back, exhaling down, inhaling up. So kind of a free and easy movement for the time. We'll get a bit more engaged in the study of this movement in just a moment. So next time, legs are straight. Remember what you did just a moment ago. Toes lightly pressing into the floor, heel getting just a little bit lighter. Knees mobile and dynamic. Knees may be folding just a degree or two with heel light, that heel drawing out of your toes. Toes reaching out, heel drawing back. Hands to heart. Exhale, folding. Inhale, straightening. Yeah, with sole of your foot open to that vitality inherent in the ground itself. All right. Next time we come down, pausing there. And then lifting the heel of your right foot, keeping that suspended, lifting the heel of your left foot. So left foot heel stays up, while right foot heel slowly lowers to the floor. 3, 2, 1. Tap and lift now. Right heel stays lifted. Left heel goes down. 3, 2, 1. Tap and lift. And now both heels at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Heel staying light. Bottom of your foot staying open as you inhale to come up, 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 up. Oh my goodness. Stepping feet together. Standing for a moment. How's that foundation feel? Hips, knees, ankles, feet. All right. Just checking to make sure we're in the right progression here. And sure enough, we are. So you've already taken a wide stance on your mat. Taking that wide stance again one more time, this time with toes pointed more or less straight forward. And then it's that same grounding foundational foot engagement. How about lifting your toes and then setting toes down onto the floor before lightly pressing all 10 toes into the floor. Knees mobile and dynamic. So that means that knees available to fold just a few degrees as heels get light. And with toes reaching forward, heels drawing back. See how that engages leg strength. And then hands on hips, folding, folding forward, folding forward. Toes reaching, heels drawing back. Inhale, coming back up. Feeling that connection to the ground as bottom of your foot stays open to the ground. Toes drawing forward, heels drawing back. Next time you fold, pausing there, taking left hand to the floor, rotating to the right, I'm sorry. Yes. Left hand to the floor, rotating to the right, arm up to the ceiling. And then coming back on down, just straighting hand. Best you can, keeping those soles of your feet open to the floor. Toes pressing, reaching, heels drawing back. Okay. Both hands on hips. And before we come up, just rounding, inhale to round. Letting your head drop, hang. Perhaps shaking head a bit. Like a Christmas tree ornament that you just accidentally bounce. It's going to bobble a little bit. Really letting it, the weight of your head portion your neck. And on an inhale, coming all the way up. Stepping feet together. Pausing, just standing for a little bit of release. And then it's taking that wide stance one more time. Right toes turning in, left toes turning out. And with back foot toes turned in, you might notice that hips don't square to anything. Right? Just a little bit of it in order to keep hip joints in a happy place. And then it's that front knee, left knee folding. The front knee fold. Pausing like we've done already a few times. Front foot, left foot toes lifting, and then toes lightly resting and pressing and reaching. Heel getting light. So with toes reaching out, heel drawing back. Bottom of your foot opening towards the ground. And then it's tipping at your hips, bringing hand to shin. Left hand to left shin. Bottom of the foot staying open. Head staying where it is as it is. In the same place as hips begin to draw back. So hips drawing back in order to begin to straighten that front leg. But only to the place where bottom of your foot can stay open to the ground. Yeah, as bottom of the foot begins to feel like perhaps it's closing a bit, you may have gone just a little bit too far. Free arm. And free here either to look forward or look up. Arm coming down, pressing down to come up. Stepping feet together, checking in side to side. Yeah, two sides feel the same. I can see my image on the screen here. And for me, I'm even tipped a little bit to one side. Let's do the other side. Wide stance. Left toes turning in, right toes turning out. Right knee coming forward. And like we've done so many times already, it's lifting your toes, setting your toes down, letting them lightly press into the ground as they reach forward. So toes are reaching forward, heel getting light, heel drawing back out of those reaching toes, opening the bottom of your foot as you tip your hips, bringing hand to shin. And head stays as it is where it is, as hips begin to draw back, beginning to straighten the front leg, but only to the place where bottom of your foot can feel like it's staying open to the ground. If it feels like bottom of your foot is beginning to close a little bit, you may have gone just a bit too far. Finding that sweet spot, then it's free arm up, turning to look up. Exhale, arm down, pressing down, come up, step feet together, standing again for a moment, checking in side to side, seeing if things have released. All right. So I'm going to come a little bit closer to the screen so you can see this next movement here. You're free to stay standing. And what this is a little bit of release for the front of your body, in particular, your neck. So I'm going to start with putting my thumb, my left thumb. If you're right-handed, use your right hand. Yeah. Just over the top of my collarbone. So there's a little bumpy spot here where two collarbones come together. So anchoring just over the top of that collarbone, right next to the middle, dropping your chin, anchoring in a little bit further, and then lifting your chin and working your jaw. Dropping your chin, sliding that thumb out towards your shoulder a little farther, lifting and working your jaw. Dropping your chin, sliding it out even farther. So whole thumb tucked in along the top of that collarbone, lifting and working your jaw and turning your head, your gaze to look away from that anchoring hand. All right. And then just pausing there for a moment. And now that anchoring hand is going to start to tap the muscles of your neck from collarbone up towards base of your ear. So all over in that triangle from base of the triangle collarbone to top of the triangle base of your ear. Tapping, tapping, tapping. You probably can hear that. I'm tapping quite vigorously. All right. And then letting that movement trail off, just pausing for a moment. Yeah, and seeing if one shoulder feels like it's dropped down a little bit. Perhaps one side of your face. If you're standing, perhaps even hip and foot, whole side of your body. A little bit different, more grounded. Let's try the other side. See what happens over there. Remember, it's the collarbone starting at that center of that pointy part, dropping your chin, anchoring your thumb over the top of that collarbone, and then lifting your chin and working your chin up and down. Dropping your chin, sliding thumb out towards your shoulder. Dropping your chin last time. Whole thumb resting over the top of your collarbone, right along there. Anchoring in, working your chin and looking away from that anchoring hand. Working your jaw up and down. And then letting that trail off and tapping that triangle, base of the triangle, your collarbone, up to base of your ear, tapping, 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 tapping pretty vigorously so that you can hear the tapping. Okay, letting that trail off and checking inside to side. Okay, I'm going to come back to standing for just a moment. You're standing as well. Start in the same place. It's inhale, sweeping up, and exhale, folding, and just coming down to seated. Simple, cross-legged, seated form. Remember how we started? One of the very first things we did was that letting that inhale lift the back of your skull. And the exhale, release it. Trying that again, revisiting that right here. So it's inhale, back of your skull, lightly lifting. Exhale, back of your skull, rebounding, releasing down. So if you want to think about your nose making the movement, it would be inhale, nose dropping. Exhale, nose lifting. But very, very, very small movement. Okay. Letting that trail off, and remember the next movement was that side to side movement, head turning, second vertebra axis. So it's inhale, center, exhale, turning. Inhale, back, center, exhale, turning the other way. And again, it's really small movements, micro movements, movements that you know you're making, but if someone were watching you, they wouldn't know you were moving at all. And then combining those two movements again, it's that infinity symbol, sideways figure eight. So all of this leading up to a particular movement, traditional seated turn. Okay. So letting all those movements trail off and just folding forward, arms reaching forward, sliding forward along the ground, checking in with that reach to see what range of motion is, coming back up. And now we're going to turn to the right, but keep your torso, your head, your neck facing forward in that same direction it is right now as you take left hand to right knee, right hand comes behind. And now, rather than turning from your shoulders, your torso, see if you can turn from that place way at the top of your neck, place you engaged just a moment ago. So top of the neck, skull turning on the top, very top vertebrae to come around, all the way around to the side. Finding that first layer of resistance. Yeah, and now keeping your torso turned this way. Torso turned this way, shoulders turned as they are. Again, moving from top down, trickle down, turn. Top of vertebra turning your head back the other direction. Left ear towards left shoulder. Side head tipping just a bit. And then head coming up center. Trickle down, turn, going back, all the way back. Lifting your hands, rotating forward. Folding in without looking at your hands. See if one arm feels like it's able to reach a little bit farther than the other. And then maybe checking with your eyes to see if one, in fact, does reach farther than the other. Coming back up. Let's try that same series on the other side. Remember, it started with torso, neck, and head staying forward as left hand comes to right knee, right hand comes behind. And then it's that trickle down turn, as if you were turning from the very top vertebra first, skull turning on that second down vertebra, bringing shoulders and torso around. Shoulders and torso stay facing this way. As trickle down, turn goes back the other way. Head turning back. Right ear towards right shoulder. A little bit of a head tip. And then it's head up, trickle down again to that same direction left. So rotating spine from the top down, lifting your hands and exhale, rotating forward, folding, reaching. If there was a length, a mobility range of motion difference last time you reached, perhaps it's evened out. Of course, the other option is there was no difference last time. Perhaps there is now, or maybe again, everything the same. So, not suggesting there ought to be a difference. We're here, perhaps just letting your head hang, like that Christmas tree ornament. All right. Inhale, coming back up, all the way up to seated. So just moving things a little bit here. So I have enough room, and then it's coming onto your back with hands on knees, knees over hips, and then rolling over onto your side so that knees, thighs are at a 90-degree angle to your torso. And then taking that top leg and reaching it straight out away. And then doing a few leg circles with that top leg. Toes lightly brushing the floor. Toes lightly brushing the floor. Working again with foundation. And that top leg, rotating leg, staying still, lifting off the ground a bit. And the bottom hand, shoulder that's on the floor arm, comes on top to try to hold that leg down. This leg tries to lift towards the sky. So leg lifting, hand resisting as you open your torso back towards the sky. So leg lifting, hand resisting, and reaching arm suspended off the floor. Notice how an inhale perhaps invites that arm to shoulder to come up, reaching out arm, shoulder to come up. Exhale, releases. All right. And then first transition is bringing that arm on over, bringing the leg in, kind of closing like a clamshell, and then rolling onto your back. A little different this time. Legs straight out, legs going straight out, arms down by your side, and checking inside the side. Side that was just engaged, leg lifting, hand resisting, arm reaching. Does that side feel a little bit closer to the ground? Perhaps in leg, heel to hip, or even perhaps in torso, hip to shoulder, arm. Let's try the other side. So that was just a little bit of a rest and check in, a mindful moment. So drawing these in again. And I'm going to swap ends here of my mat. So I can face the camera, rolling onto your side. And it's that top leg again, working with foundation, doing a few leg circles. Going in both directions, toes just lightly brushing the floor. And then again, it's that top leg, leg that is lifting, opposite arm, shoulder on the floor arm is going to try to hold that leg down. As leg tries to lift, hand is resisting, holding it down, opening your torso towards the sky. Outstretch arms suspended off the floor for a little bit more honest engagement. Noticing how longer inhale invites that outreaching arm. if not the whole arm, at least the shoulder, to move towards the sky. And exhale lets it release. All right. First transition is, how about this time, leg coming in, and then arm coming, and then onto your back, and then leg straight out again. Just checking inside to side. Just a moment, mindful moment. See if things have shifted, if they were different, or if they shifted, if they were the same. Lots of options. See what's true for you. Perhaps one side, engaged side, now feels a little closer to the ground. All right. And drawing knees in and rolling onto one side, coming seated for just a moment with feet together, knees together, hands on the outside of your hands, and hands, knees pressing into hands, hands resist. Sort of what we did a moment ago on the floor. So if I took my hands away, knees would spring out to the side. All right. And now bringing hands just behind your hips, and then letting those knees fold out to the side, bringing pads of your toes together, and coming up torso a little bit more vertical before arms reaching forward and folding, folding, folding. So Bandha Konasana, but without grabbing ankles or feet, to pull yourself forward. And here again, just letting head hang for just a moment. Coming back up to seated. And then coming onto your back, hands on knees, knees drawing in towards your shoulders. You might have seen this one coming too. Hands to the floor. Knees going wide, soles of the feet together. Same thing you just did a moment ago. Perhaps rocking side to side. Just a few times. Before bringing soles of the feet to the floor. And here you're welcome to keep soles of the feet on the floor, knees folded, or you could have legs straight out, whichever feels more useful right now. Letting your eyes close. Remember all of those axis, atlas, top of the spine movements we did earlier. Something similar right here. So, as if there were a laser pointer in the end of your nose, you were going to draw a circle on the ceiling with your nose. Not a very big circle. So, nose itself moving in perhaps a quarter size ping pong ball size circle, going in both directions. Moving from just those very top vertebrae. Perhaps you've already noticed when nose draws a circle on the ceiling, back of your skull draws a circle on the floor. So letting this movement trail off, coming to neutral. And now rather than moving from your nose, see if back of your skull can draw a circle on the floor. Same circle, quarter size circle, going in both directions, but moving from back there couple more turns. Changing directions if you haven't already done so. Letting that movement trail off. And then interlacing your fingers behind your head, supporting the weight of your head in your hands. And tractioning your skull out of your torso, out of your neck, pulling skull back and perhaps up just a little bit before resting it down, hands coming down, down by your side. Remember how we started? Tension was. Work with foundation. Perhaps by way of becoming a little bit more grounded. See where that journey has taken you. Where have you arrived? What's your experience right now? All right. Drawing your next inhale a little bit longer. Letting the exhale be full and complete. Eyes are closed, opening your eyes. And it's just drawing these in. Well, whether legs are folded or not, it's still drawing these. Rolling to one side and coming seated. Waiting for everyone to come see. Before taking a collective inhale, inhale arms up, exhale hands to heart. Namaste. Thank you for coming to practice.